Ron Klain had worked in a variety of positions in government. He was a longtime Biden advisor and confidant. He was the one that Obama had tapped to be his Ebola czar. Well, he's now the White House chief of staff, whose chief job is getting this pandemic under control. And he joins me here at the Lincoln Memorial tonight. It's great to have you here.
Great to be here, Chris. Thanks for having me.
You know, I was reminded that it was 1 year ago tonight that you and I were sitting on set with Rachel Maddow after then President Trump gave his address. And you were there to talk about this because you had expertise in pandemic response. Now you have to do it.
Yeah.
Did the year unfold worse or better than you thought it would when we were sitting there a year ago?
Oh, much worse. I don't think the most pessimistic person could have imagined you and I would be standing here a year later with this epidemic still raging and with more than 500,000 Americans dead. But I did say that night, I was very fearful as you listened to President Trump that he was going to just wash his hands of the response and leave it in the hands of state and local government to do it. I said that night that would be a horrible mistake. And I think that was borne out. And I think tonight, the American people heard from a president who was taking responsibility, who's taken charge, who laid out a new strategy to fight COVID, starting on his first full day in office, who's put the federal government center and square, owning the response, for better or worse. And I think so far it's worked out a lot better than it has before.
You know, I think you had the phrase, the Articles of Confederacy response, and I remember it stuck with me because so much was pushed on the states. Joe Biden's elected. There's an announcement the federal government's going to move in. There was even a little bit of turf battle. The governors wrote a letter. They seemed a little prickly about some of it. We're at 2.2 million vaccines a day.
Yeah.
What is it going to take to get to 3 or 3.5? Is that an achievable goal?
Well, I think we can definitely go up from where we are. I think the president, they signed the American Rescue Plan, legislation he called for before he even took office. And that's going to fund our efforts to further ramp up vaccine production. The president announced yesterday he'd bought 100 million more doses of J&J. We need more vaccine to increase the pace. We also need more people giving shots. The president tonight said he would order 4,000 additional troops to the front lines to give vaccines. We're going to activate retired medical workers and other people to really increase our ability to vaccinate the American public. His goal, as he said tonight, is to get to a place where we finish these high priority people in the next 6 or 7 weeks, and we can open up vaccinations to all Americans starting May 1st.
And he also said, and this strikes me as an enormous logistical challenge. There's a huge logistical challenge now, right?
Yeah.
But with this target, right, people, you know, right now there's a lot of demand and the supply can't meet it. For the federal government to have some kind of centralized means for a person who says, I want to get a vaccine, it's May 2nd, and now all adults are eligible, there seemed to be a tacit promise that you guys would do some work to make sure the logistics of that are relatively smooth.
That's right, Chris. We are going to develop over the next few months, in advance of May 1st, a website where people can go and figure out where the vaccine's available. We're also going to try to back that up with a call center for people who aren't online. We're going to take all kinds of other steps. And I think the most important thing, frankly, we can do is bring the vaccine to where people are. You know, right now, when Joe Biden became president, there was no vaccine going from the federal government to community health centers, none going from the federal government to pharmacies. Now we're hitting 10,000 pharmacies with the vaccines. We're going to get up to 1,000 community health centers. We're going to use mobile vaccination clinics. We're going to bring the vaccine to where the people who need it are.
Yeah, there's a lot in the rescue plan about that. Right now, we have seen, you know, these racial inequalities particularly reinscribe themselves in vaccination, and some people have chalked that up to hesitancy. But actually, if you look at the data, that's not really the issue. I mean, what is your understanding of that issue?
Well, look, I think hesitancy is an issue with all Americans, of all races, ages, whatever. Our principal problem, though, with people of color right now is access.
Right.
We have a lot of black and brown people who want the vaccine who cannot get the vaccine. One thing we've done, as I said before, is rapidly increase the number of community health centers making the vaccine available. We targeted the first 6,000 pharmacies to get the vaccine were largely in zip codes that serve communities of color. And as I said before, we're going to have to get mobile vans out on the street. We have to get people where they are, and we have to do a better job of increasing equitable access to the vaccine.
The American Rescue Plan was signed today. There's a ton in that bill.
Yeah.
And in fact, to the extent there's been an argument from Republicans against it, they've been, you know, oh, there's money for museums, there's money for the National Endowment of the Arts or whatever. There's concern. Some people are saying this is too much, that the economy is going to overheat. There's going to be a crazy, there's going to be money falling from the sky. What is your response to the people with those words?
Chris, we have 10 million people who a year into this still don't have jobs. We have today the 52nd consecutive week of record high initial unemployment claims. We have in this country food lines that are miles long. It's long past time for this country to step up and do what we need to do to help those people who are hurting. That's the right thing to do. That's what President Biden said he would do. It's also going to be good for our economy. We know this economy grows when the working class, the middle class, have economic opportunities. And one thing the American Rescue Plan does is it puts an end to kind of the economics focused at the people at the very top, really invests in the middle class and working people. That's going to get our economy growing for everybody.
Ron Klain, who I was with a year ago when the world looks very different, now Chief of Staff at the White House. Thank you so much for coming down and making time.
Thanks for having me, Chris.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank all of you out there.
Thank you as always.
Thanks to at home.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you so much for letting us into your homes during these extraordinary times.